Hello and welcome to the first ever edition of the Vlogging Panther. My name is Ollie and this is my invitation to you to join me on my entrepreneurial journey. Why am I doing this? Good question. Essentially this week I've just been inspired to have a go. Some people might think it is arrogant to do something like this. For me, I think it's more about an experiment, essentially. I have no idea what I would intend, or no, I do know what I'd hope to achieve from this, but I don't know where I'd see it going. I don't know if anybody will watch it, or whether it will be any use to anybody. But in September 2016, I started a master's degree at Leeds University in enterprise, an MSc enterprise, and over the last 11 weeks, we're now on the 15th of December 2016, I have experienced so much about what can now be possible, and it's a very interesting process because I'm studying the academic side of things, and the course has so far involved a lot of self-reflection, and we had to keep a journal as part of that. And because of that, and the benefits I've seen from doing that, I thought, well, let's have a go at video. It was a snap comment the other night to a friend, and he said, well, why not? And I'd just spent 2 days with 15 super motivated, positive student businesses. We're all starting out together, essentially. Some are slightly further down that road than others. And there were a couple of guys there, Joel and Robert from Spice UK, and I'd encourage you to go and look that up. Amazing. The passion, the belief, what they're trying to achieve through what they do, and part of that involves vlogging. I thought, well, why not? See what happens. As I said before, I've never done it. I don't know how it works, but part of my own development means that I need to explore the digital world, really. In September I was 40 years old. So this is a big milestone year for me, and there's been so many changes, so many risks, and as we approach the end of this year, I am starting to see the benefits of taking those risks. So what I want to do here is basically explore my development I already know I'm going to succeed because I'm actually living the life I want to now, and a lot of people don't do that. I suppose what I really want to do is look at how decisions shape our lives. When I look back now at the events in my life that brought me to this point, I would probably say before, I would have said that there were some bad decisions in there. Horrendous, actually, looking back. But I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe there is such a thing as a bad decision. It genuinely is all just learning. I'm not usually this emotional, but perhaps that shows the impact of what I'm currently going through, and essentially why I'm motivated to be doing this. If I hadn't made those so-called bad decisions in the past, I I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. I needed to learn from that. I needed to go through the pain and the struggles of what those decisions caused me to face up to. And in doing so, I learned a lot of very valuable things that are taking me forward. I got the chance to get close to my parents while they're still alive, and it's not a very interesting blog, is it, if I'm not talking? And so many people can't do that. And last week, I was able to stand in a room with my dad, who's now 81, and tell him from the bottom of my heart that he is such a massive inspiration for what I'm doing now. He is the entrepreneur that I look up to the most. And until I started this course, I would never have entertained the idea that he was an entrepreneur, but he was, and is. What a special person. And that's why I think I really want to do this, because it's entrepreneurship is not about the Richard Bransons, the Alan Sugars, whatever. There's so many of us who are relatively ordinary, I suppose, if you want to put it like that, who aren't looking to change the world. They're just doing what they do and enjoying it. And I think that the entrepreneurs I've been really fortunate to meet in the last 11 weeks, the people that want to actually give back, who are successful in their own way. I mean, yes, usually that involves a certain amount of money, but not for all by any means. They are such amazing people, and they're doing what they love, every one of them. They've taken a chance, what chances, to actually accept their vision and try and reach it. And I would say in probably every single case, they've not only reached that, but they've exceeded it, and they've helped people along the way. Of course, we have the other side of the coin, and good old Donald is the one that springs to mind over in the States. Clearly his success is not, I think, what most people would aspire to. Certainly anybody that I'd want to know. And yesterday I was really lucky to interview a local businessman here, but somebody who I'd identified as an entrepreneur. And that's for one of my course elements. And we had a great chat. So much about what he does and what he's lived through. The guy's 55 now, and he has had failure after failure in the traditional sense, really, in his life. He's living the dream. He's living his dream, and that's what's really important. And that's the kind of people that I'm with all the time now. There's not a day that goes by when I'm not trying to help somebody. Not really in a position to do that much in terms of finance at the moment. As anybody who knows me well will know, from the last few months, it's been, I don't think I've ever tightened my belt so much. But I'm still here. I'm now living in my dream home. I don't think I've ever felt as at home or been as happy in a house or a home since I was a child. And what a great place to be. It's basic. It's freezing cold a lot of the time. Not so much now. But it's home. It's mine. It's got everything I want. It's got the brick, the beams. So I've just watched those previous sections back, and I get that it's quite intense, quite heavy. And if you'd have seen me at work today, and those who did will know I was far from serious. I was my usual jokey self, with a horrendous hangover as a result of my 7-hour interview with the owner of a pub. I think that probably lesson 1 of vlogging is to not make it too long. So I've failed already, and that's great, because failure's the way forward. I haven't even said where I live, have I? So I live in Halifax now, in West Yorkshire. I can't believe I've managed to talk for as long as I've been talking and not mention that. And I know there's a lot of people that will smile when they hear me say that. This town is absolutely blinding. Before March, all Halifax was to me was a bank. Now it's my home. It's a place of such great potential, and I'm going to do everything I can to help it. And I think since this is being recorded, it'll be useful to see whether my predictions come true. But I've been going around saying to people, 5 years, give it 5 years, and Halifax will be a very different place. All those naysayers and people that questioned why I would move to Halifax, you'll be proved wrong. But in a good way. I'm not being malicious about it. Anyway, so yeah, failed that first lesson, and as an entrepreneur from Halifax who developed an old carpet factory called Dean Clough, which is here, walking distance from my home, and he's called Sir Ernest Hall, and he wrote a book called How to Be a Failure and Succeed, which I haven't yet read. I haven't even got a copy. I don't think it's even in publication anymore, in print. But I guess I will read it. And on my chalkboard in the kitchen, down at the bottom, that's what's written. The title of that book. And you will hear so much about my chalkboard. Well, you'll certainly hear about it again, let's put it that way. But for now, I'm not going to carry on. It's been God knows how long. When I set out to do this today, I've been thinking about it a couple of days. But one thing I've learned now is you don't just sit and think about something for too long, you just get on and do it. There you go, it's my first lesson to people. Don't rush into it, but don't just procrastinate. And that also makes me chuckle to say that, as I will explain more again in the future. So much to talk about. So On that note, I will say thanks for getting to this point. Blimey, if you stuck with me this long, then we're off to a good start. And cheers.